Fashion refers to the current trendy clothing styles now being relative. It is constantly evolving, changing, and returning. Every fashion style and trend makes a comeback at some point. Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today, we are going to talk about fashion evolution. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Fashion in the 1910s, the silhouette of women's dresses changed dramatically during this time period. The SUAU bend silhouette, which narrowed the waist with corsets, gave way to a sleek and straight silhouette. This alteration was influenced by the famous designer Paul Poiret, 1879-1944. Paul Poiret created the first costume that a woman could wear on her own, as well as other garments that did not require a petticoat or a corset. He invented the classic flapper style, which substituted tight corsets for voluminous skirts. Fashion in the 1920s. The golden era of French fashion occurred between the two world wars. America began to prosper greatly. Aside from monarchy and nobility, a new class of clients for fashion firms emerged. Wives of industrialists, American entrepreneurs, and movie stars. Women gained more independence, including the ability to vote, and began to join the labor force in greater numbers than ever before. People abandoned the elaborate dressing style for a more sporty, flat-chested image during this period, which saw the acceptance of androgynous looks. Bob cuts, short haircuts, replaced long hair, and short skirts replaced long trains. A straight silhouette mostly replaced the corset. This was the norm by 1925. The waistline shrank. During this time, the flapper style with no waist acquired unparalleled popularity. Fashion in the 1930s. The 1929 Wall Street crash had a significant impact on the fashion scene as well. Flamboyant dressing gave way to a more conservative style of dressing. During this time, there was a resurgence of feminine fashion, with an emphasis on recapturing finesse and elegance in clothing. Ankle-length skirts and evening gowns became popular once more. At the same time, the girls began to wear pants. Fashion in the 1940s. Everything changed in the fashion industry after World War II. A thriving consumer society with the average man at the center stage evolved, altering the entire fashion landscape. Along with ready-to-wear clothing, mass production became popular. Many Parisian couture houses closed during and never reopened. The fashion scene moved away from Paris and toward London and New York. Handmade garments became unaffordable for the now poor aristocracy, and fashion houses fell out of favor with them. The common man wore factory-made clothing. The wealthy, who had had enough of austerity during the war, became interested in the lavish gowns of the past. Corsets also made a comeback during this period. Ready-to-wear gowns were popular among modern women since they were considered elegant and modern. Polyester and nylon had only recently been developed, and they were revolutionary. Nylon was discovered and began to replace silk in the production of leggings and lower-cost clothing. Fashion in the 1950s. High disposable income combined with a thriving economy meant that young people invested in fashion in greater numbers than ever before. The ready-to-wear mass market gained popularity, and brands such as Marks & Spencer became huge success stories. In the 1955 film Rebel Without a Cause, American actor James Dean popularized blue jeans. T-shirts, jeans, and leather jackets, as he wore them, were extremely fashionable. The arrival of Italian-tailored clothing with single-breasted suits, tapered slacks, slim ties, and pointed shoes in the 1950s was another big change in men's fashion. Fashion in the 1960s. During this time, ready-to-wear apparel businesses established themselves as major fashion players. Unisex clothing was popular during this period. Aligned gowns with little body definition became trendy. Mini skirts first appeared in 1965. Young, working-class ladies with financial independence were a key force to be reckoned with. Men preferred tight trousers, vividly colored military jackets, and patterned shirts. Fashion in the 1970s. Vivienne Westwood launched her business in this decade to cater to a clientele that adored punk clothing. Punk was distinguished by shredded t-shirts, chains, and outlandish hairstyles. Flared trousers were a popular fashion trend in the 1970s. Hippie attire included maxi skirts, wide leg trousers, bell-bottom denim, hot pants tied, and dye apparel, caftans, and platform shoes. Fashion in the 1980s. Jeans had become a wardrobe essential. Women in the 1980s went to work in fitted suits with wide, padded shoulders. During this time, fitness was very important. Sportswear companies such as Nike, Reebok, and Adidas popularized athletic clothing. Tracksuits, training shoes, leggings, and lycra or stretch body. Hugging clothing became fashionable. Madonna, Boy George, and Michael Jackson were music and fashion superstars, and their styles were emulated by millions of fans. Celebrities such as Princess Diana had a huge influence on the fashion sensibility of the time. What they wore became popular. Fashion in the 1990s. The biggest change in fashion during this period was the transition from the glamorous, dressy style of the early decades to more basic styles. Fashion shows have grown in popularity. Globalization has resulted in foreign fashion influences. Fashion images distributed via the internet and television resulted in the adoption of international influences. This is sometimes referred to as cultural appropriation, the adoption of elements of one culture by members of another culture. In a negative sense, misappropriation, or global fashion influences in a positive sense. Subcultures began to acquire popularity in fashion, referring to a community of like-minded people who dress in similar manner. They created prevalent fashion styles such as rockers, hippies, and grungers, Here you can read about the various styles that have resulted. Synthetic fabrics such as lycra, spandex, and viscose became popular for manufacturing figure, hugging clothing. Luxury labels such as Prada and Gucci, as well as sports brands such as Nike, were extremely popular. Fashion in 2000. Fashion is driven by the economy and profit in the 21st century. Another critical factor is comfort. The streetwear fashion style, which is quite popular, is based on comfy garments that people want to wear. More on streetwear fashion style may be found here. Brands are significantly larger than designers, and the majority of them have a global presence. They are partnering with designers in order to grow even larger. Until now, the 5 countries that propelled the most popular ideas and innovations were America, the United Kingdom, France, Japan, and Italy. The rest of the world looked up to them for guidance. However, today, countries in Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, and Africa are developing as key fashion markets, and fashion is adapting to cater to these shifting consumers, with designers from these regions garnering global attention. Fast fashion, online selling platforms and stores, mobile-obsessed consumers, economic insecurity, ethical concerns, and sustainability, and emerging markets, as opposed to established markets in Western portions of the world, are the watchwords of the 21st century. These are the drivers behind this season's fashion forecasts. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.